Today I'm finally going to be getting something off my chest that I've been holding on to for 5 years. I think 5 years is safe enough. I was honestly scared to tell this story for a while. I would get pretty bored if I sat here and just like talked about a story. So I am going to be playing cool math games, taking myself back. If I'm going back 5 years, I'm going back all the way, okay? Cool math games is what we played. I really wanted my first job. I kind of felt like a loser if I didn't have a job. I was 19 and my mom always said like, "Oh, don't worry about getting a job. I'll support you until you die. Just focus on college, you know, get all your degrees and become a doctor or something." All my friends around me were getting jobs. I mean, you're 19 years old. Everybody starts getting a job and they make you feel, you know, not on purpose, but you end up feeling like a loser. So I was like, dang, I need a job. I applied everywhere, okay, that I could. I didn't care if it sounded unenjoyable. I was gonna do anything that I can get. One of those jobs was a brand new gas station. Brand new. It was a new like building they had just made in my town. She introduces me to my trainer, which is like this middle-aged woman, but I need to specify because this is an important part of the story. She is not straight. She's very obviously a lesbian woman, which is like nothing wrong with that. Obviously, that is not like I did not have an issue. No issue. She was my trainer. She was really cool. Honestly, we hit it off. Like we were going to be cool friends. I think I think she told me she was like in her 30s, like early 30s. So me and this girl, we're friends. We're cool. Like, anytime I had a question, I would go to her. Anytime there was like an issue with a customer, she would kind of step up. She would step up for me. That day I got off work. I was supposed to get off work at like 9 or 10 o'clock. And so obviously my mom was expecting me. What am I doing? My mom was expecting me to be home by, 9:30 or 10:30, whatever time I got off, like 30 minutes after that. But like 30 minutes before the end of my shift, this girl, we got to give her a name. Her name is going to be Daniela. We're going to call her Daniela. So Daniela comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, Keeruhh, I need a ride. I need a ride home. Like my home is like, it's 5 minutes down the road." This is exactly how she explained it to me too. She was like, "Oh, it's like 5 minutes. It's right up the corner. Like it's not even going to be nothing crazy. Like I just need a ride." And I was like, "Sure, like no problem. Cause again, like at that point we had been like, work friends for about a month, for like a month and a half, 2 months. So like we were cool. Right. And I was like five minutes up the road. I do want to point out that my mom obviously taught me like, don't give rides to people you don't know. Don't really know, I should say. But again, I thought we were cool. And I also was kind of scared to say no. I thought it was really awkward because just the way that she was like saying like, "Oh, I don't have anybody else. Like you're my only ride. Like I need a ride." So I was like, "All right, yeah, no biggie. I'll give you a ride." And I get gas before we go. Cause again, I'm working at a gas station. So I'm like, I need a gas. I was like, whatever, I'll just get gas while we're here before we leave. And she was like, "Oh, you should let me drive." I do want to reiterate that it's obviously my car. It's my car. And she's like, "You should let me drive." And I was like, "Do you know how to drive?" Like she was older, but she didn't like have a car. So I didn't know. Like, "Do you have your license?" I was like, "Oh, like, do you have your license?" Or like something like that. And she's like, yeah, of course. She was like, "Girl, don't play with me. Like, of course I got my license." And I was like, "Okay, like, shit, my bad. I feel like it's a valid question." So again, I'm kind of scared to say no. And at the same time, I want to be cool. Like, I want her to think I'm cool in a way and like not freak out on me. So I say, sure, go ahead, drive my car. I'm going to get in the passenger seat. Mistake number 1. This was so dumb of me. Don't do this, okay? Don't do this, bro. So I get in the passenger seat. I finish getting gas. She gets in the driver's seat. She gets in the driver's seat. I can't talk. She's so excited to be driving. Like, she's actually ecstatic to be driving. It should have been a red flag for me. Why are you this happy to be driving? When was the last time you drove a car? So I was like, oh shit, like what did I do? I was already kind of regretting my decision. But at that point, you can't say like, "All right, get out of the driver's seat, bro. Like, get out of the driver's seat. I'm driving." So we get in the car and she starts driving, and immediately, bro, I literally cannot exaggerate this story. She starts just driving in the worst way imaginable. Like, if you could think about how a teenager driving for the first time would be, it was like that. It was obvious that not that she didn't know how to drive, but that no, she didn't know how to drive. I mean, I don't that's exactly what it is. So I was actually at that point like pretty scared, pretty actually terrified for my life. So she starts like super speeding, like speeding. And at this point I'm thinking in my head like, oh my God, like we're gonna get pulled over by a cop. I'm gonna get a ticket because it's like my car or whatever. I don't know what she has on her, like, you know, God forbid anything else. And I'm just thinking in my head, at this point, I'm thinking in my head, like, my mom is going to kill me. Like, my mom is going to kill me. My mom would never let me do what I'm doing right now. And like, I told my mom everything. I grew up telling my mom everything, which allowed her to trust me. And so I was able to do pretty much whatever I wanted as long as I told my mom and I was honest about things. I don't know if that makes sense for some of you guys. I know, like, obviously a lot of people have different relationships with their parents, but like, the point is, my mom was very lenient with me, but only because I was super honest with her at all times. So when I did stuff like this, I just felt like I was being so stupid. Like, I could not be any more stupid. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, bro, like, please don't get us pulled over. Like, please don't crash my car. Like my mom's gonna kill me. That's what I was thinking at this point. And she just starts speeding. And then she starts hitting, there's like, it was kind of like a small town kind of vibe. There was a lot of turns and like curves in the road, but not a lot of traffic lights. So you could kind of speed if you wanted to. But again, like these turns, when you hit these turns, you have to slow down. You're going to like crash the car. So she ends up hitting this turn. And it got the signs that says, hey, slow down. There's a turn up ahead. She is booking it. She is booking it in my car right now, like doing 75 in a 30 zone. And she hits this corner like fast. And she's just, I'm going to die, but I have to show you. She's gripping on the steering wheel like this. And like she's in it. She is need for speeding my car right now. And I'm in the passenger seat gripping for my life. What the fuck? And she hits the turn like this. Like, she's like, ooh, like, this is a serious turn. And I'm like, damn. And when she hits that turn, one of my wheels kind of come off the road. It was like, boom, boom. And my car, like, it just sounded bad. It sounded like something hit really, really bad. And she laughed it off. Bro, how do you do that in someone's car? And then you laugh it off. But she ends up saying like, oh, I'm almost there. Like, we're almost there, whatever. So she keeps driving. I tell her she has to slow down. I say, like, you got to slow down, though. You're going way too fast. Again, I make it into, like, some sort of joke. I didn't say it in a mean manner. And so she did. She slowed down. It is pitch black outside. And I realized how much time actually went by in that car ride. And it was not 5-10 minutes. In the moment, I kind of, like, zoned out. And I was focusing on, like, not dying, right? So I kind of zoned out. But when I looked at the time, when, like, after everything happened, I was like, oh my God, we've been driving for almost an hour. Like, where did you take me? Where am I right now? I actually have no idea where I am. And so we pull up into this like beat down house. I really don't know how else to put it. It's pitch black. There's like one little crusty light outside on the street, and it's like a beat down house. Okay. And she gets out of the car. Before she gets out of the car, she looks over at me and she's like, oh, I just have to stop at my boy's house really quick. And then I'll be back. And then we can go to my house and, you can drop me off. And I was like, what? Wait. What do you mean? I thought the whole point of this car ride was to take you home. Where are we right now? So like, low-key, I was freaking out. At this point, I was freaking out. I was like a 10. In my head, I was a 10. And I was like so confused. And she was like, yeah, it'll be like 2 minutes. I'll be in and out. Like, you could just stay in the car. And I was like, okay. So I get out of the car before she can get back and like get in the driver's seat. I get out of the car. I get in the driver's seat and I'm really about to pull off. I am really about to pull off and leave her there. Because at this point I'm thinking like, yo, what am I doing? Like, I need to get my together and get out. Whatever I'm doing right now, I need to get out. It just gets worse. It just keeps getting worse. Okay, so I'm literally contemplating pulling out and leaving her there. And like, you know, within a minute, she comes out really, really fast. So I didn't really have much time to like sit on that thought. But she comes out and she's holding a white bag. She's holding a white bag. And I see the guy behind her, whatever. Like nothing hostile happened, but she's holding a white bag full of pills. Full of pills from this guy. I have no idea what the pills are, but what I do know is that she's taking them and like she's putting them in her pocket or whatever. She's holding them, whatever. And she gets in my car. So now officially I have drugs in my car. Again, at this point, you have to keep in mind, like, I feel like, I know some of you guys are going to be like, Keeruhh, you're so stupid. Why wouldn't you just drive off? Like, you should have just drove off. Okay, at this point, I was honestly trying to play my cards right because I thought if I didn't, I was going to die. That is literally what I thought. You know, like you're at some point, you're just like kind of going for survival. Like you think if you mess up, if you, I don't know, act weird, do something crazy, that could be the end. You know what I mean? So I was trying to just play it cool. That is literally the only way that I was going to get through it is if I played it cool. So I did. I played it cool. I was like, oh, okay. Like she didn't tell me what it was. I didn't ask any questions. I wasn't going to ask any questions. Who am I? Who am I to ask you questions? We're good. We're good. We're good. I'll drive. We start driving and this is a crucial moment in the story. Okay. We start driving and she opens up the door, like while I'm driving, she tells me like, oh, slow down. Let me throw something out of the car. So she opens up the door, the passenger door while I'm driving. I'm driving real slow on this corner and like she's shuffling her feet and like trying to throw something out of the car. I don't remember what it was, but I assumed it was just like some kind of her trash or whatever. I have no idea, but we keep driving. So she throws something out of the car. I'm assuming trash of some kind. And I keep driving. And now it's like a 45-minute drive to her actual house, which again, I thought we were going there the entire time. I thought we were going to her house. And now I'm 2 hours deep in a car ride with drugs. How does that even happen? How does that happen? So finally, you know, it was a cool car ride back. Honestly, I was driving extra slow because at this point, if we get pulled over, who's going to go to jail? Who's going to go to jail? Because I feel like she's the kind of person that would say, not mine, officer. It's the driver. And I'd be like, well, me, I am the driver. By the way, this is all alleged. Okay, this is all alleged. This ever comes up. This is all alleged. And so we finally get to her house. And her house is, she was not lying. It was like 5-10 minutes up the road from the gas station. But again, she never told me that we were not going to her house. The whole premise was, yeah, can you take me home? It's 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes up the road. Like that was the whole initial thing of like why I said yes. Anyways, we get to her house, but it's kind of like in the middle of nowhere. It's like she has neighbors and stuff, but it's back. It's behind a lot of trees. It's very, very dark. There's like no street lights. It's very dark where her house is. And she's got a very long driveway and it was an entire like big house. And it was just her, apparently, I'm assuming. And again, she thinks, and I think like up to this point, like we're cool, we're friends. So she's like, oh my God, I just got like when we got to her house and I was like, okay, like, you know, I parked the car, put the car in park and I was like, okay, like I'll see you at work tomorrow. Like, bye. She's like, oh my God, like I just got this house. Like you should come in. You should come in and like see my new house. Yeah, you should do that. And I was like, oh, no. Pretty sure I learned 101, don't go in strangers' houses, especially after they do all that stuff to you. And she like begs me. Like she's like begging. And again, this is a red flag to me as well. Cause I'm like, why do you want me to come inside so bad? Like so bad. Again, I'm 19, I think, at this time. Maybe I'm 20, but I'm pretty sure I'm 19 at this time. And I'm pretty sure she's early 30s. But she's like, you have to come in. Like, I just got it. Like, I haven't been able to, like, really show anybody. But, like, I just cleaned everything out. Like, it looks so good. You have to come inside. And the back, like, the view is so good in the back. And I was like, I kept saying no. I said no like 3-4 times. And then I even said like, oh, nah, like my mom is expecting me home. Like my mom was expecting me home like an hour ago. Like I really, really have to go. And she's like, please, like it'll just take like 5 minutes. I swear to God, like begging me to go inside. And at this point, again, I thought if I like say no or if I make her mad, I don't know. I felt like I was going to die. Like I literally felt like I was going to die. Like if I said no, or if I pissed her off. So I was like, okay, like I'm going to go inside. I'm going to go inside the house, bro. I'm going to do it. And so before I go in, like while she's walking in front of me, okay, this entire time that I'm going inside, I'm honestly preparing to fight for my life. Like I'm literally preparing. I'm like, okay, what if this does go south? What am I going to do? So I was like preparing myself mentally. I was like, I might have to fight for my life. So let me just get my cards in order in case we need to do that. And so I wanted her to walk in front of me at all times. I did not let her walk behind me because you were not jumping me. You were not sneaking me. I was going to be prepared if it were to happen. So yeah, I literally made her walk in front of me the entire time on purpose because I thought we might have to fight. And I texted my partner, like I remember pulling out my phone and I texted my partner the address in case I did. And I said, if I don't respond in 30 minutes, this is where I'm at. And so I sent the address to somebody to make sure that somebody knew where I was. I didn't tell my mom because I was too scared to tell my mom. But I made sure that someone knew where I was in case I didn't answer in 30 minutes. That was the time frame that I gave myself. So we went inside and this house was empty. Like when I say it was a big house and it was one bird, like she was the only one that was living there. This house was empty. It was so many rooms and it was just like, it was like ripped up carpet. It was like, it looked like somebody was like, renovating, like nothing weird, but I just thought it was weird. It was such a big house for one person. And she was like, yeah, it's my brand new house, whatever. I'm getting it all together. And she's giving me the entire tour. And she does like the first few rooms and I'm like, all right, I really gotta go. And she's like, no, like, let me show you the back. The back is so nice. I'm like, bro, this could not end any slower. Like, what is happening right now? So I go to the back. And again, I'm like making sure that I am behind her at all times. She's bigger than me. Like, I'm pretty short. She was pretty tall, honestly. Like, if I had to guess, like 5'11", like she was tall. Maybe 5'10", I don't know. Tall for me. So we go to the back and it's a pretty house. Like it's a pretty back, like it was like a big porch or whatever. It was like it was a nice view, of like what you could see. It was pitch black. And she was like, yeah, if it wasn't so like dark outside, you could see it better. But like, all this stuff, it just looks so good during the day, whatever. We were having like a normal conversation. Everything was normal, but it was freakishly normal. It was like freaking me out. I needed to get out of there so bad. So, I see the back at this point. Like I've seen every single room. I've told her, yeah, it looks great. Like looks great. Oh yeah, I love this. I love that. I was getting myself through it. I really was. After all of that, I tell her like, again, okay, I really gotta go. Like, thanks for showing me around. Like, I really gotta go. And she's like, oh, yeah, of course. But like, you should come back. Like, I'm gonna throw a little party soon. Like, or I'm gonna throw a housewarming party. Like, and you're definitely invited or whatever. And I was like, thank you so much. Like, yeah, for sure. That sounds like so much fun. In my mind, I'm like, I am never coming back. Okay, so you would think the story's over. It's not. So I go outside. Nothing weird happens, obviously. I go outside. I go in my car. Again, I'm like watching my back the entire time I'm walking to the car. At no point did I feel safe, which is like very scary to like think back on. At no point did I feel safe. But whatever. I felt like I played my cards the best I could in that moment. I wish I could obviously go back and change a lot of things that I did or didn't do, but like I can't. It was my first ever time experiencing something like that. And it was definitely like a big lesson that I just had to learn, I guess. So I get in my car, my heart is beating. I'm like, oh my God, I actually made it out of there. Like I actually almost thought I wouldn't make it out of there, but I have to go back to my job because, I didn't think that I'd be gone that long. Like I said, I thought I'd be going up the road for 5 to 10 minutes and I would be able to come back and like do whatever I got to do and like get my stuff. So like I had a bag and I think I had a drink, like a cup or a water bottle or something that I left at work and I had to go back to work. So at this point, it's like 11 p.m. It is 11 o'clock at night and I'm just now getting back to work. The story's not over, okay? I get a phone call. From her. She's panicking. She's like, Keeruhh, please tell me that my white bag, the white bag that I had, is in your car because I can't find it anywhere. It's not in my pocket. I had it in my pocket. And I was like, what? You're telling me that you accidentally left your white stuff in my car? And so now I'm freaking out. And at this point, I had like just pulled up to my job. So I get out of the car. I park, obviously. I get out of the car. I go to the other side and I'm digging through like everywhere in the passenger seat. I'm looking under the seat. I'm looking behind the seat. I'm looking in the back seat. Maybe it's like slid under. I'm still on the phone with her and I'm like, I like, it's not in my car. I promise it's not my car. And she almost sounds like she doesn't believe me. Keeruhh, like, no, it has to be in your car. Like, there's no way it's not in your car because I don't have it in my pocket. And I'm like, I'm telling you, it's not in my car. Like, I promise. And she ends up like going on a rant about like, oh, she spent her last $80 on that. That was her last $80 and she was supposed to sell that to like make the money back and like profit or whatever. And then I think back to when she opened the door and she like, you know, shuffled some stuff out with her feet out of the car. Like it fell out of the car, like stuff fell out of the car. And I was like, oh my God, like maybe you threw it out of the car on accident. And I tell her that on the phone. I was like, maybe you accidentally threw it out of the car. And she was like, no, like that's impossible. That's impossible. And she just kept repeating like, oh, this is my last $80. I think it was $80. And she was like, check your car again. Like it has to be in your car. And I'm like, I promise it is not in my car. After that, I went home and I told my mom everything. I was like, Mom, this is what happened tonight. And my mom just basically called me stupid a couple times in a couple different ways. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry I stopped playing the game. I had to focus. I had to lock in. But thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you want more story times. I don't have too many crazy stories, but I do have some. It feels good. Just again, clarifying, all this is alleged. That's it. Goodbye.